Welcome to the deep dive, everyone. I am your host, and I've got our resident tech expert here ready to unpack a really fascinating topic today.
Hey there. Yeah, I am really excited to get into this one with you.
So I want to start with a question for you, the listener. Have you ever looked at a massive tech giant, one of those essential apps just sitting on your home screen right now, and wondered how hard would it actually be to build that myself?
Oh, I think we've all had that thought, right?
Right. I mean, you tap a button and a hot pizza just magically shows up at your door 20 minutes later. It feels like magic.
It really does. But
Yeah.
behind that single tap is a massive machine making millions of dollars.
Exactly. And so you wonder, could you, just a regular person with a good idea, actually build that machine? Well, today we're looking at a wildly detailed guide from a development company called Anatiga,
Yeah, and they actually published the exact blueprint for how to launch a Zomato clone.
which is just wild to me. Our mission today is to kind of deconstruct this hidden food delivery empire, figure out how these apps actually make money, and look at this whole phenomenon of clone scripts that let you basically buy a tech giant in a box.
It is a brilliant lens to look through, honestly, because we interact with these highly polished interfaces every single day.
Right, they feel so intuitive.
Exactly. They feel so intuitive that we completely forget the sheer logistical violence just happening beneath the surface. I mean, when you pull back the curtain on a company like Zomato, the scale is almost difficult to comprehend.
Especially if you only view it from the perspective of a hungry customer on a Friday night.
Yeah, precisely.
I mean, I know they're huge in India, but just how big of a footprint are we talking about globally?
We are talking staggering numbers here. The Anatiga Guide lays out the current state of play, and since being founded back in 2008 by Deepinder Goyal and Pankaj Chadha, Zomato has amassed over 1.4 million listed restaurants.
Wait, 1.4 mil?
Yeah, 1.4 million. And just looking at the Google Play Store alone, they have over 100 million downloads.
That is just wow.
And their trajectory is what really catches your eye. In 2025 alone, they hit approximately 46 million downloads.
So they are still growing that fast.
Yeah, they're consistently generating around 4 million new downloads every single month.
4 million new downloads a month. I mean, that is like the entire population of Los Angeles deciding to download the app every single month on repeat.
It's unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
But it requires that kind of volume to make this specific business model work. And they are highly strategic about where they operate, too.
How so?
Well, they actually exited the U.S. market back in 2021.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they realized their resources were just better spent dominating very specific regions. Look at their UAE operations, for example.
Okay, what happened there?
In 2019, they sold just their Dubai-based business to Delivery Hero's subsidiary, Talabat, for a cool $172 million.
Just for one single region.
Just Dubai.
Yeah. What does $172 million actually buy you in the food delivery space?
That is the million-dollar question, or I guess the $172 million question. It bought Talabat an additional 1.2 million monthly orders.
Wow.
And roughly $2 million in monthly revenue. That transaction really highlights the core reality of this industry. You aren't just buying code. You are buying market share and, honestly, human habit.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Because that $2 million in monthly revenue brings us to how they actually make their money.
Right. The economics of it all.
Yeah, because people tend to think food delivery apps are just, digital courier services.
Yeah.
You assume you are paying them $5 just to move a burger from point A to point B.
Which is a huge misconception.
Completely. Looking at the 4 distinct revenue models the source outlines, it functions entirely differently. I was thinking about this, and it's much closer to a digital shopping mall.
Oh, that is the perfect way to visualize it. The courier aspect is really just one tiny piece of a much larger economic engine.
Think about how a physical mall operates. First, you have the aggregator model. That is the app charging a restaurant rent just to have a storefront in the mall. They take a percentage commission on every single order processed through the platform.
Just for being listed.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Then you have the advertising model.
This is a big one.
Yeah, that is the app selling billboard space inside the mall. So if a new sushi place wants to be the first thing you see when you search lunch, they pay for a sponsored listing.
They are buying targeted ads to essentially jump the line.
Exactly. And then you add in the delivery as a service model.
Right, this is the actual logistics arm you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, where the platform charges the restaurant a fee for providing the delivery driver network, and they also charge the user a delivery fee.
double dipping in a way.
Pretty much. And finally, you have the subscription model.
Oh, right. Selling the VIP passes.
Yep. Programs like Zomato Gold or the Meadow Pro. Users pay a monthly or annual fee, and in return, they get exclusive discounts, priority support, and free delivery.
What's fascinating here is how absolutely necessary that diversification is.
You think they couldn't survive on just one of those?
Oh, definitely not. If we connect this to the broader food industry, restaurants operate on notoriously razor-thin profit margins.
Right, it's a tough business.
It really is. And because of that, a platform simply cannot survive if it only relies on the couple of dollars you pay for delivery. The logistics of moving human beings in cars around a busy city is incredibly expensive.
It's just a massive overhead.
Exactly. So by layering commission fees, advertising revenue, and subscription lock-in, they build this sustainable economic engine that subsidizes the heavy cost of the physical delivery network.
So if the underlying economics demand 1.4 million restaurants and multi-layered revenue streams just to keep the lights on, building that kind of infrastructure from scratch sounds like an absolute multi-million-dollar nightmare.
It would be, yeah.
If I am an entrepreneur listening to this right now, how am I supposed to compete with that?
Well, the secret is you don't build it from scratch.
Oh.
That is the core solution the Anatica Guide presents, and it is actively reshaping the tech landscape right now. The zomatoclonescript.
I'm going to stop you right there because the word clone carries a lot of baggage, you know?
It does, yeah.
When I hear clone script, I instantly think of a cheap knockoff. Like, am I just downloading pirated code? Is this the software equivalent of buying a fake designer handbag out of a trench coat?
I get that. It is a completely fair question. But in the software development world, clone has a very different meaning.
Really? How so?
It does not mean stolen or pirated code at all. It refers to a foundational architectural template.
Okay, go on.
A clone script is a completely legal, ready-made, highly customizable software solution. It is built entirely from the ground up by development agencies.
So they just look at what works and build their own version.
Exactly. They deliberately replicate the successful user interface patterns and functionalities of proven apps like Zomato or DoorDash, but the code itself is original.
So it is less like buying stolen blueprints and more like buying a prefabricated house.
Oh, that's a great analogy.
I feel like you know the floor plan works, the plumbing is already figured out, and you just get to decide what color to paint the walls and what furniture to put inside.
Precisely. It democratizes the technology. The guide actually lays out a comparison table that makes the value proposition very clear.
What are the alternatives then?
Well, imagine you want to go the custom-built route. You hire an entire team of developers to write every single line of code from a blank screen.
Sounds expensive.
Very. You are looking at 3 to 9 months of development time and a massive initial capital investment. You get total control, sure, but it is a luxury only large enterprises can afford.
And the other extreme they mention is a SaaS platform, right? Software as a service.
Right. That only takes 1 to 7 days to set up, and you just pay a low monthly fee.
Seems like a good deal.
It is, for some. But the trade-off with SaaS is severe. You have very limited customization, and crucially, you do not own the source code. You are basically just renting space on a server. If the provider raises their prices next year or goes out of business, your entire company vanishes overnight.
That is terrifying.
Right. It works for a single, small restaurant that just needs a basic ordering portal, but you cannot build an empire on rented land.
And this is where the Zomato clone approach finds its sweet spot then.
Exactly. The guide estimates a launch timeline of just 2 to 4 weeks for a clone.
That is incredibly fast.
It is. The initial cost is medium higher than a SaaS rental, obviously, but a fraction of a custom build. It offers high scalability to handle growth, but the absolute most crucial factor.
Let me guess. You own the source code.
You own the source code. It is your intellectual property to modify forever.
So you're buying the prefabricated house, but you actually hold the deed to the property.
Exactly. It allows an entrepreneur to stop wasting months reinventing the digital wheel. Like, you don't need to try and code a functional shopping cart or integrate a GPS API from scratch.
Right, that stuff is already solved.
Yes. You can focus all your energy and capital on actual business strategy, like marketing and signing exclusive restaurant partnerships.
Okay, so let's say I hand over the cash and buy this clone script. What am I actually getting? Because I think most of us, we view a food delivery app as just one single application on our phone.
That is the illusion of good design.
Really?
Yeah, you are not buying one app. A modern food delivery platform is a four-sided ecosystem.
Four-sided.
It is four entirely separate interfaces, functioning simultaneously, communicating with a central database in real time.
Okay, let's walk through what that actually looks like in practice. Let's say it is Friday night. You open your phone to order dinner.
Okay, so you are looking at interface number one, the customer app.
Right, and the clone script comes with advanced search filters, so you can immediately filter out anything that isn't gluten-free or vegan, for instance.
Yeah, and it has real-time order tracking, multiple payment gateway integrations, and even in-app table reservations.
So that is the customer side. Then what?
The moment you tap Place Order, that data instantly pings interface number two, the restaurant dashboard.
Ah, so the kitchen sees something totally different.
Completely different. The kitchen staff are not looking at the same colorful menu app you are. They have a very utilitarian tablet-based interface.
Makes sense.
It manages incoming orders, tracks preparation times, and handles menu management. For example, if they run out of tomatoes at 7:00 p.m., they can tap a button and instantly 86 punties that ingredient across the entire platform.
So no one else can order a salad with tomato.
Exactly. They even have an offline toggle to just pause all incoming orders if the kitchen gets too overwhelmed.
That is a lifesaver for a busy kitchen. Okay, so the food is made. Once it is ready, the system pings interface number 3, which would be the Writer app.
You got it. And this app is built entirely around speed and logistics. It sends a push notification to the nearest driver, provides an earnings report for this shift, and includes built-in chat support.
So they can call you when they inevitably cannot find your apartment building.
Exactly. We've all been there.
And hovering above all of this is interface number 4.
Mission control, the admin dashboard.
This is for you, the platform owner.
Right. You are sitting at a desktop, watching this entire Friday night rush unfold across the city. You are tracking total revenue, managing customer disputes, and adjusting settings.
The source note's a really cool feature here, too, about language. A good clone can seamlessly toggle between left-to-right languages like English and right-to-left languages like Arabic.
Yeah, depending entirely on the user's phone settings.
To make those 4 interfaces talk to each other without crashing on a busy Friday night, the underlying tech stack has to be incredibly robust.
Oh, absolutely.
The guide mentions they use native languages for the mobile apps, Java or Kotlin for Android, and Swift for iOS.
And the reason native languages matter there is performance. When you scroll through high-resolution photos of food, you want it to be buttery smooth, right?
Yeah, nobody likes a laggy app.
Exactly. Native code interacts directly with the phone's hardware, preventing the app from feeling sluggish or draining your battery.
But the real heavy lifting happens on the back end, right? The brain of the operation.
For sure.
The source specifically mentions back-end technologies like Node.js or Python.
Yes, and Node.js is particularly crucial here.
Why is that?
Well, imagine a busy intersection with no traffic light. If 100 cars arrive at once, everything stops. Traditional server architecture can sometimes behave that way. It processes one request at a time.
Sounds like a recipe for a crash.
It is. But Node.js is designed to handle asynchronous connections. It can process thousands of simultaneous data requests. A customer searching for sushi, a restaurant updating their menu, a writer updating their GPS coordinates, all at the exact same millisecond without the server freezing.
It is the invisible traffic controller that keeps the entire ecosystem alive.
Exactly.
You know, here's where it gets really interesting to me. Inside all of that complex architecture, there are specific features designed solely to, hack human behavior.
Oh, definitely.
In the customer interface, the clone script includes a feature called group ordering. And I love this because it mathematically solves a massive, real-world social headache.
Ah, the office lunch dilemma.
Yes. We have all lived this nightmare. 10 people in an office want to order Thai food. One person becomes the designated victim.
They have to pass their phone around the room.
Yes.
Yeah.
Someone accidentally deletes an item. Someone forgets to specify they want mild spice. And then the absolute worst part, the food arrives, and you have to do complex algebra to figure out who owes what.
Calculating proportional tax and tip.
It's the worst. And then you wait for 9 people to Venmo you.
It creates immense social friction, which, from a business perspective, actively prevents people from placing large orders.
Exactly. But with the group ordering feature, you tap a button and generate a link. You text it to the group.
Everyone opens the link on their own phone.
Yep. They add their own specific items with their own dietary notes, and the app automatically calculates the split for tax, tip, and delivery. Everyone pays for exactly what they ordered.
It is a perfect example of how software does not just display information. It actively removes the barriers that stop people from spending money.
Software solving human friction is where the real value lies.
Absolutely. And if we flip over to the rider's interface, there is a feature that solves a pure logistical friction: route optimization.
How does that actually work under the hood?
What's fascinating here is that when a rider accepts an order, the system doesn't just hand them an address and open Google Maps.
No.
No. The back-end algorithm is constantly calculating real-time variables: traffic density, one-way streets, the historical prep time of the restaurant, and even batching multiple orders that are heading in the same general direction.
Wow.
It calculates the absolute most efficient path.
Okay, but does saving a minute or two on a drive really matter that much to the bottom line?
It changes the entire economic reality of the business.
Really? Just a minute or two?
Let's do the math. If the algorithm shaves just 2 minutes off every delivery route, yes, the customer gets slightly hotter food. But for the platform, those 2 minutes compound.
Okay, I'm following.
It means a single rider might be able to complete 1 or 2 extra deliveries per shift. Multiply those extra deliveries by 10,000 riders across a major city.
Oh, wow.
You have just exponentially increased the total volume of orders the platform can process in a single night without hiring a single extra driver.
That is micro-efficiency at a massive scale.
And it is the only way a delivery platform achieves profitability.
So the tech sounds absolutely flawless on paper. The code is written, the math is optimized, but, having a perfect blueprint does not guarantee the skyscraper won't collapse during a storm.
That's very true.
The Antigua guide outlines the actual development steps, and it is a bit of a brutal reality check. You cannot just buy the script, slap your logo on it, and press launch.
Far from it. The technical execution is just the starting line. It begins with exhaustive market research. You have to understand the specific local gaps in your city that the major players are ignoring.
Right, you can't just copy Uber Eats and expect people to switch.
Exactly. Then comes feature identification, deciding which specific modules from the clone script your local market actually needs.
Then you move into development, customizing the code to your brand. And step 4 is where I imagine a lot of dreams die. Testing.
Testing is critical.
The guide specifies both manual and automated testing. Because if you launch and you get a massive spike in traffic during the Super Bowl and your app crashes, your business is dead.
Pretty much, yeah.
A user will experience one crash, delete your app, and immediately open Uber Eats. They will never come back.
Scalability and security are the 2 massive technical threats during deployment. Your database must seamlessly expand to handle those user spikes.
And security.
Your security architecture must be flawless.
Mm-hmm.
You are handling sensitive credit card data and home addresses.
Well,
A single data breach will permanently destroy the trust you are trying to build.
let's talk about the actual price tag to get through all of this. The guide breaks down the estimated costs of buying and customizing one of these Zomato clones.
And it depends entirely on the tier you want, right?
Yeah. A basic clone, meaning you just get one platform, maybe just an Android app, with basic search and limited payment options, runs between $5,000 and $20,000.
A mid-range option, which gets you Android, iOS, and a web platform, plus those advanced filters and real-time tracking we discussed. That will cost between $20,000 and $50,000.
And if you want the advanced tier, the route optimization, the loyalty programs, the customized group ordering, the absolute works, you are looking at $50,000 and up.
Which brings us to the ultimate friction point.
Yeah, I am stuck on this price tag. If I can get a small business loan for $50,000 and buy a platform that perfectly mimics a multi-billion-dollar tech giant, what is stopping 100 other entrepreneurs in my city from doing the exact same thing tomorrow morning?
That is the risk.
Isn't this just a race to the bottom? If we all have the exact same technology, how do I survive?
This raises an important question, and honestly, it is the most important question an entrepreneur can ask. If the check is identical, you cannot win on technology. You have to win on execution. The source is very clear about this. Survival requires intense differentiation.
How do you differentiate if the app looks exactly the same?
Through hyper-personalization and local dominance.
Yeah.
The global giants use broad algorithms, right? Well, a local operator can use specific community data to curate highly targeted recommendations. It means innovating on the business model.
Like what?
Perhaps offering localized subscription plans to specific office parks that the big players would never bother with. And most importantly, it comes down to customer support.
Having a real human on the phone.
Precisely. If a Zomato or Uber Eats order goes wrong, the customer is trapped in an endless loop with an automated chatbot.
Oh, I hate that.
We all do. But if your local app offers 24/7 localized customer support, where a real person in their city answers the phone and immediately refunds the missing item, that level of trust is a massive competitive advantage that a global algorithm just cannot replicate.
I have to point out the brutal psychological truth here, though. At $50,000, buying the premium advanced app is actually the cheapest part of this entire endeavor.
Oh, without a doubt.
The tech is just the entry fee to get into the casino. The real challenge and where millions of dollars are actually spent is marketing and human psychology.
Breaking user habit is the most expensive undertaking in modern business.
Think about your own phone. You, the listener, you have likely used the same food delivery app for 3 years.
Your credit card is already saved.
Your home address is saved. Your favorite Thai place is saved in your recents. Convincing a user to consciously stop their thumb from instinctively tapping that familiar icon and instead download a brand new app.
Type in their credit card number again.
Exactly, and learn a completely new interface. The friction is immense. You could have the best route optimization in the world, but if the customer's thumb goes to the competitor's icon, you lose.
It is a steep hill to climb. So what does this all mean for the landscape of technology? We started by asking how hard it would be to build a tech giant.
And the answer seems to be, well, from a purely software perspective, it is faster and more accessible than at any point in human history.
The technological barriers to entry have practically vanished.
You literally can buy the blueprint for a giant.
But if we connect this to the bigger picture, it leaves us with a rather profound realization.
What's that?
If the exact code, the complex Node.js architecture, the road optimization math, and the four-sided ecosystem of a billion-dollar platform can be perfectly replicated and purchased off the shelf for $50,000, then the true value of a tech giant is no longer its software.
The software is just a commodity.
Exactly. You can buy the code. The real untouchable asset, the ultimate moat that protects these massive companies from competitors, is the physical human network of trust they have painstakingly built over a decade.
It is the thousands of restaurant owners who trust the tablet on their counter.
Right. It is the vast fleet of riders who trust the algorithm for their daily income. And most importantly, it is the deeply ingrained neurological habits of millions of users who trust that when they push a piece of glass, hot food will reliably appear at their door.
The code is cheap.
Human habit is priceless.
The tech is just the container. The human network is the actual product. I want you to take a second and look at your phone today. Look at all those essential, untouchable apps sitting on your home screen.
It really makes you wonder.
Think about what other platforms you rely on every single day that might just be a $50,000 template. A piece of commodity code waiting to be cloned, relying entirely on your daily habits to stay alive. It completely changes the way you see the digital infrastructure around you. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll catch you on the next one.